Lovelies, how is everybody? This week I've been working on a project that I've been thinking about for a while. Don't know about you, but I drink a bit of coffee now. I'm not a coffee snob or anything, but you know, I've got one of those machines in my kitchen. It's just a little one, but I love using it. So I kept thinking, what on earth can I make from the coffee box? Because, you know, my mind is crazy and it's always thinking up new ideas. So how do we turn this ugly little coffee box with not much going for it, you know, the kind of thing, how can we turn that into this? Look, it's so sweet. I love it. It's turned out beautiful. So come with me and I'll show you what you need and how I did it. And then I'm going to put this for sale in my Etsy shop if you think that would be something that you'd like to have. All right, let's go. All right, so what will you need to start with? You'll need an old coffee box like this one. Okay, pretty easy. I also keep the bit that comes out from inside, so you'll need that. You'll need some paper to make your signatures with, an assortment of paper if you've got a colour that you're working on, like mine is mostly these colours to do with coffee kind of look, so that's the ones that I've got there. I'm going to use a postcard for the front. Haven't decided which one of these I'm going to use yet, so you'll need you know, some kind of image for the front of your box once you have done all the steps that I'm going to show you. And some art glitter glue. I'm using this one because I love the narrow nozzle. I always use that. You're going to need bits of fabric. I'm going to use the rest of the christening dress that I have been using, and I'm probably going to use some of my already rusted little ruffles that I've pre-made. So yeah, get all that stuff together. You'll also need obviously your scissors, that's pretty basic, maybe some inks for dyeing, just the usual suspects. All right, so let's get started. My idea today is to turn this into a journal. So let's see what I do. Of course, after I've drank my coffee, can't let that go to waste. So the first thing you're going to do with your coffee box is open the lid out, and you want these two bits here to be gone and folded in. So just very carefully, just tear them up there like that. And the same on the other end, like that. And then what you want to do is glue them down like that, all right? And what's going to happen is you're going to end up with it like this. So what I've done is I've glued each end and I've just stuck these little clips in just to help it to stick down. So that's your first step, all right? Now don't worry that you've got a hole here or a hole there, because when we do the cover, we can put lace and all sorts of things, and then this technically becomes the lid of your journal, all right? So once this is dry, then the next step is to cover all of the box, and I'm going to use my coffee stained coffee filters, and I'm going to cover the box. Now, a lot of the box, especially on the cover, will be covered over with whatever I choose to have for my cover design. But even so, I'm still going to cover the whole box with coffee filters. You can use paper, you can use whatever you like, all right? So I'm just waiting for this to dry, and then we'll move on to collaging the whole box. Just before we move on to the collage, I will just encourage you, can you see here, see how there's sort of that little tiny lip? And it's where it was glued to here. So I will encourage you to take these bits off. You'll find they've just got a very, crude bit of glue just stuck there holding them, because you don't need those bits on there now. And then around here, I would just encourage you just to trim that off, because it's very, I don't know, just fragile or something. It's just very thin where it was ripped undone. So you just want to just trim that up. And now we're going to pull these bits apart and cover this all around, just like collage, just like you did when you were a kid at school when you covered the balloons, that kind of thing, all right? Because we just want to cover over the outside. Now, the inside does have information on coffee and information in the back here, and I quite like the look of that at the moment. So at the moment, I'm only going to cover the outside of the box. And then when I've done that, I'll see what I think about doing the inside. But I kind of like the original box. All right, so let's get started with that. Now you'll notice I've put down a little bit of a drop sheet because I'm going to probably get into a bit of a mess. Now, these are the coffee filters that I stained today with coffee. Otherwise they're too white for me. And I'm just going to pull a few apart like this and just start collaging over the box with my matte medium. I use Liquitex matte medium. And if you haven't got one of these, man, they're so good, much better than a paintbrush. That there is like plastic or rubber, and it just goes on really easy, like really easy. So yeah, all right, so just get started doing that. Stick your pieces on, and you want to be careful to not bring one that's right on the edge here, bring it right over, and then it will strengthen the box as well. All right.
How come the stars come to shine when it's dark from so far away? Show us where we are. What makes the sun go to sleep every night, and what's it dreaming of? I wonder. How come the sky sometimes hides behind the clouds? Maybe it's just like me, a little bit scared of heights. Why does the rain always keep on pouring down when it's grey outside? It really makes me wonder. Yeah, it makes me wonder. It really makes me wonder. Ooh, I wonder.
There we are, the box is all dry. I'm really loving the effect of using the coffee filters on it, and the little marks and things. You won't see some of them because I'm going to cover the lid. I've cut just a little bit off of here just because I decided I didn't want it to close on the outside. I want it to close on the inside. I think it will stay closed better like that. Just seems to sit in nicer like that. So now, remember I said I wasn't going to do in here and here, but now I don't like this. So I've cut out a bit of fabric off camera, just a little bit of gold that I think will look nice just sitting in the bottom of there, like that, for my signature to sit on top of. So I'm going to glue that in, and then I'm going to think of an image that I want in here. And I think what I've decided for the front is to have this postcard. I know I had two, but I think I've decided on this one. I think she'll look really sweet. And some fabric that I have here, and I've sort of made it so that it's the width of here. And I'm thinking something like this. Like that, right? Because I'm loving how that looks. And then I went and found a hinge. And I'm thinking, I'm doing a lot of thinking here, guys. Thinking that would look really nice there. But to leave it just on here so that that opens up. You still see that underneath, and then you open up into where the journal is. So let's get all of that sorted. So something like this across the bottom. You know, so that there's plenty of lace and things in it. Not 100% sure, but yeah, I like it. I like how it looks, all the different layers of lace, and that's really sweet too. Look at that. Really love that on there. That's already been pre-rusted as well. Yeah, I'm really happy. I've been having a little bit of a play around with it whilst I was letting this all dry. But I'm really happy with how that turned out. Look at the effect on the back there. Just looks really awesome. Alright, so let's get this stuck down first. Just with some art glitter glue. And then we'll move on to doing the rest of the cover. Here we go. All done. It looks nice. Just finishes it off. Now for the inside cover, I've decided to use this. And I just have to make sure that I place it so that it will still close up. That will all be covered, of course. And I've got this little sticker from my antiquarian sticker book, which I think will be really nice on the inside too. So I'm going to use that and a little bit more lace behind her. So on the inside fabric, I've just sewn a little pocket as well, which will be really cute when it's on there. You'll be able to put something in underneath the little postcard, which is going to flip out, remember? And this is going to look really cute underneath that. Okay, so that's the binding done. I've just got to tie it into a wee bow now. And that's the middle done of the signature. And I've got it inside this little thing here that I made. And you see it's got the same fabric that lines the box. So that will look nice. And I just made these out of little circles, and I just made, you know, stuck like 3 or 4 together. And here we are. How cute does this look? I am so happy with how this turned out. So let's have a little look inside. So this flips over with the hinge on the front, and it's the old postcard from France. So I've left that so you can still view it. And then in here I've sewed a pocket, and it's got my Starbucks card from Indonesia, or Bali, when I was there last year. And this opens up just by pulling this, and inside is a little tag that I made, but it's glued down, and another little image. And then I've made it so that we can pick the journal up like this with this, and it's sewed onto the back. because I didn't want to make more holes in here to bind it, because I think it would have looked a mess making more holes on the side. So that's what I decided in the end. So let's take a look at the journal that is now inside this little old coffee box. And of course, coffee box started off like this, and now it looks like this. So a little bit of a difference, hey? A little bit of a difference. Oh, I'm so happy with how it turned out. All right, let's have a flip through of the journal. So this wax seal is what I got when I went to Paris. It's a little old postal one, so I did that in gold. And we'll have a little flip through now. And I'll probably do that quietly so you can just take in what I've done. There's where the coffee filters were, of course. Started off life like this. And I've just added little images in. This is a recipe for a hazelnut coffee cake, so I've made it fit. And then on the back is the actual illustration of what it looks like. So whoever buys this will be able to make it for themselves. And that's it. Everything has been coffee stained or done with, rusty stuff. So, yeah, I'm sure this is going to make somebody very happy. It will be going up into my Etsy store today. And if you think that's something that you would like, then you can have it. Just go onto my Etsy shop and I'll post it over to you. Let me know what you think about this. I love it. It turned out so well. But yeah, let me know in the comments. Say hello. Let me know what you've been up to. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.